What is going on, you dead set legends? And welcome to the Ready Bang, the number one arm wrestling show in the world. I'm your host, the Aussie. I don't know how you do it, mate. I don't know how you do it. You must have, even then, you must
it's have. It's a special skill, man.
It is a special skill. Ladies and gentlemen, let me apologize. It was just crazy land in my house this morning. I had my alarm set an hour before the show, and it just got a bit chaotic. And then it was Mrs. Aussie ArmWrestler said, "Oh, you know, don't be late for your show. I'll be right. I'll be right. I'll be right." Suddenly, I'm 15 minutes late and I haven't even messaged my man. But we have got my man. If you haven't seen his YouTube channel, go and check it out. The Rise and Fall series is probably my favorite. He is the one and only historian, mate. Welcome to the show. What's going on?
Thanks so much, Ozzy. That's a pretty great intro there. The entire sequence was amazing. I'm doing good, man. For the most part, I'm doing good, and no worries about being late. I think, it's building up suspense, right?
Yeah. So let's bring it back for those watching now or those watching a little bit later. Let's bring it back. What made you want to be the guy that spoke about the history of arm wrestling? What made you want to be the arm historian?
I think when I first started thinking about making content for arm wrestling, I think that was at a point where I was already pretty deep into arm wrestling, but I couldn't really find the kind of content that I usually watched about other topics, like really deep dives and well-researched videos on other topics that interested me. So I thought I can find this anywhere within the arm wrestling scene, so why not try and create something like that myself?
Yeah, beautiful. And I think you kicked off with Michael Todd. Was that the first Rise and Fall?
It was indeed the first Rise and Fall. I had two videos before that. One about East versus West, like I think the 6th edition or something like that. But I had to delete that later on because I actually got a strike on my channel from Core Sports. Yeah, and then the one after that is the first one that actually kind of took off, which is the real height of arm wrestlers, something like that, where I just kind of went over how tall arm wrestlers really are, that their heights are often exaggerated. But then I made the Michael Todd video, and that got a substantial, at least for me, a substantial amount of views. So that kind of really motivated me to keep going.
The two things that got it for me was I watched the Rise and Fall of Michael Todd, and I was like, I looked for it through two different ways. One, I was like this is really well done. This is really well researched, because there's a rise and a fall, and it was, right when everyone was shitting on Michael Todd. I was like, man, like what's this guy done? Or what's Michael Todd done to this guy? What's going on here? Then I was watching it, and I was like, this was really well done. But because I was speaking to Michael on the phone quite often, and I looked at it the wrong way. But it was when you did the photo. I've said to you this in person, when you did the photo saying that you're at WAL, because you got me first. You're like, guys, there's me at WAL. What historic moments have you got? Paraphrasing, mate. I thought, man, this guy's been in sport for ages. Then I saw your hand there, and I thought, this guy's got humor. Bang. I'm an arm historian fan.
I appreciate it, man. And I think a lot of people had a kind of a similar experience, especially talking about the Michael Todd video. I know Rebecca Todd kind of reacted to that video too in a less than positive way, which I get. And a couple of other people voiced their concerns too about me going too hard on Michael Todd. And I think in large part that's fair criticism, especially towards that video, because it was my first big video and I was kind of still looking for the right tone in my channel. I think I went less hard afterwards. I think I voiced more of my personal opinion on certain topics than I did in videos that I made afterwards. So yeah, I think it's certainly a fair criticism.
Well, it's a really interesting thing because I've had a similar experience when I started doing my first Instagram videos. Instead of fun, loud commentary and quirky punchlines, I was like, "Fuck this guy and fuck that," this, that, and the other. And then when you realize how accessible arm wrestlers are, and like that, you don't realize these become your friends or they're willing to help you out. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe going down the dog shitting route. Not so much that yours was dog shitting, but going that full 100% throttle that way. I thought, yeah, no, that's not the way to go. I can still do what I can do, but even better. And so I think all of your rise and fall videos have been basically on point. I watch them all.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. And yeah, I get you 100%. It's a small world still, arm wrestling, and once you are even a little like entrenched into it, it becomes very apparent that people actually watch what you say about them and watch what you make about them, and it has an effect on the subject of my video. I think in the Rise and Fall series, I've talked to about 50% of the people that I've covered about the video itself.
Oh, so, nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Right. A few people want to say g'day to you in the chat. Fo the Win says, I thought arm wrestling historian was secretly Concrete Elbow this whole time. There you go. Yeah, maybe, don't ever disrespect Fo the Win. Don't ever disrespect arm historian like that. There's no way. The other guy's dog shit.
I couldn't do the.
I'm just still annoyed over a pedophilia post. I need to get over it. But when you got two baby girls,
I'm not up on all the drama. I think.
Oh no! It was something.
Rehash it, but
it was something ages ago, and he just made a post. If they're underage but still a 10, would you?
Jesus, okay, yeah.
Go for it. And his options, a lot of the options were yes, and I was like, that's not me. That's not me.
No, I get that.
Roy Baker and Crazy Uncle Jim is in the house. Arch Dogs is my two favorite arm wrestling YouTube guys in one show. Oh, thank you very much, mate. And that's my arm wrestling table, says Bean. Now, guys, I have met Historian in person. Guys, don't mess with him. Don't mess with him. He will crush you. He will crush you. That's all I can say. I'm not giving anything else away. But I don't know what to call you. Historian.
Sure.
I'm not going to say your real name.
Arm.
Yeah. Talk to me about the hand. I love it. I think it's great. It's unique. It's different. It's got a mystique to it. Why the hand?
Sure. Well, you kind of answered that question yourself with, at least going into it, that's kind of the vibe I wanted to go for, like something recognizable. I also thought showing myself wouldn't really add anything to the kind of content I was making, because most of it wasn't meant to be an opinion piece or whatever, so it wasn't really prudent for me to be there in the content itself. But yeah, I sometimes kind of regret it, man. It would make some content that I want to make that much easier to make. Like training videos, I have to kind of be careful. I'm traveling abroad soon to the Philippines. I'm actually having a super match with someone there, like the national champ of the 85 kilogram category there. Yeah, and I don't quite know how I should package that content. I want to make content out of it, obviously, but I don't quite know how I should go about it. Should I just show my human form, or I don't know. I don't know what to do about that.
So how did that come about? Because you're an arm wrestler. So how did you get in contact with the Philippines? Were they just like on your show and say, hey, if you're a puller, we'd love you in the Philippines? How did that come about?
My girlfriend is actually from the Philippines. She's getting her doctorate's degree here. So I met her while she was doing that here, and then we plan to go to the Philippines soon. Yeah, take a trip, meet her family, stuff like that, and also get some arm wrestling while I'm there. So I contacted Greg actually from Eastside Arm Wrestling and asked him for any contacts in the Philippines that would be willing to arm wrestle. And then, yeah, that guy reached out to me. His name is Sean Chispa, if I'm not mistaken. And he wanted to set up a super match. So here we are.
Beautiful. I'm not up to date with my Philippine arm wrestling. No disrespect to
Neither
the
was
country
I.
of the Philippines. Good mate of mine is from the Philippines. So okay, so he's on an international trip. Now we won't say what promotions you've been at, because I don't want to give away anything of who you are. I love this. I love this, and I love the patience that you have, because what are you now? Just under or just about a clock 10,000 subscribers. Let me have a look.
Yeah, just under. I think like 9.6 or something.
Yeah, so 9.64, beautiful. But
Slowly getting there.
Oh, mate, it's because the one thing I like, because I'm a slow burn game. Like I'm the long game type guy. Like the amount of information I have and the secrets and the screenshots that I have, like I could make videos that are 250K just dog shitting the people that have looked after me. I respect your patience, because you're like, oh, well, I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers. People know who I am. I've been to events and talked to legends of the sport, and they're like, oh, is that you? Oh, wow, I love your videos. But you've still kept the hand, where a lot of people, because you can get famous, arm wrestling famous quick in this sport if done right. And I do respect your patience. Just go, nah, I like doing my hand thing. I like making my videos. I like jumping on the table. So I think it's so going back to where I was at the start, it was supposed to be a question first. Like, how many times have you gone to like an international event? Because I met you at one of them. And are people starting to get in contact with you, or do you get your DMs flood with ideas? Oh, do the rise and fall of Aussie arm wrestler because you're not king of table anymore, like things like that.
Yeah, I think it's mainly an ebb and flow, just like most things on the internet, especially in the arm wrestling world. I see a lot of like a big influx of viewers and also questions coming along with it, and then a downturn again where there's very little activity. But all in all, yeah, I'm kind of getting to that point where people are starting to kind of recognize when I say arm historian, but of course they won't ever recognize me when I go to events. I was attending one of the biggest events we have here in where I live. I'll keep it at that.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it then. I was about to mute you. I thought you were about to give away where you live. Mate, I'm on your team. I'm going to help protect it until you're ready, because I know, like, Constipated Devon just did a face reveal.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, it'll definitely happen at some point.
Of course it will. Of course it will.
Yeah. But yeah, I was at one of the biggest events here where I live, and it's kind of an international event. Like, I think just to give you an idea, a year ago or something, Prudnik was the winner of that event. So it draws a couple of people, a couple of big names in the sport sometimes. And someone there was talking about a video, and it was one of my videos. I knew the guy tangentially from events, and he was by chance just talking about one of my videos. So that was the first time I actually kind of in the wild ran across someone who actually watched my videos.
And you're a bloody cheeky bugger as well, because I remember meeting you, and you came up to me and you're like, hey Jake, or hey Aussie, you and your mate, and I was like, g'day mate, how you going? Yeah, good. What's your name, buddy? Yep. Oh, hey guys, you enjoyed yourself? Yep. Hey, I'm a story, and I was like, oh, you bloody ambushed me. Lucky I wasn't like pretend I was famous. Like, all right, guys, off you go. I'm only going to talk to you if you're arm wrestling famous, and you ambushed me. No, man, that's awesome. It's such a cool feeling. You know, you're turning up to this event, and people know who you are, and you know, did you ever think that your content would reach that?
No, not at all. I've throughout my I wouldn't say life, but throughout like my 20s, I've tried YouTube a couple of times with different kinds of content and never gotten to where people watch it like they watch my content right now. That's not to say like my content is super viral or anything like that, because I don't think it is at all. But it is quite a bit, more than I would previously get. So yeah, never would have expected it.
I think that we were talking about the long game before. The one thing that's good about your content, 10 years from now, people can watch it. It's not that quick. Oh my God, Devin said this. Levan thinks about this match, and just rehashing what was said on a podcast. And
Aussie calling everyone out.
There's room for news channels and the quick hits, and we've got like 1 billion of them.
Yep.
But like with yours, so in 10 years' time, when people are coming into the sport, they'll Google it, and they're like, "Oh my God, what's this? The rise and fall of Michael Todd. Oh, the press king of arm wrestling, Jerry Caderet." And I think it's.
I think my content is evergreen to a degree, for sure. I can always make follow-ups and stuff like that, but I do think that's one of the things that keeps me going, because I often spend a lot of time just working on one video, and then if the initial views are kind of low, I at least kind of get to think in the back of my head like, maybe it'll get some views down the line.
Well, I hope it does. I really hope it does for you. Quick question, and this is a really good question, actually. Is that arm yours?
It is, yes. I haven't updated it in, I think, nearly a year now, but it is my arm. Yes, my hand and arm.
Did not know that. Just thought it was a generic.
Yep, it actually is. It is. I started out, to be quite honest, with a stock photo when I first started the channel, but quickly replaced it by my own hand and arm.
Well, just to be on the safe side, because you just don't know the power of YouTube and the potential of YouTube. It blows up and then copyright strike and blah,
Yeah, exactly.
Because it was different. Because when I started, mate, we would all help each other out. There was even a group chat, because there weren't as many I call them YouTube personalities. There were YouTube channels, but YouTube personalities, and there was a group chat of us, and we would share ideas and share footage, and like promotions would reach out to us and say, "Hey, could you
Sounds really nice."
It was, mate, that Devin versus Levan one. What? Oh my God! If I can share the story publicly, I could help you with a video, the rise and fall of like arm wrestling YouTubers. I will tell you the story after the show. Sorry, everyone. But that's when it was beautiful leading up to the 4 weeks. So it was leading up to, it was like peak arm wrestling. And then it just started going down and getting greedy in there. Yeah. But it was amazing. It was amazing. So amazing. It's with all that, it's a shame that we don't get to share, get to help each other out. And it's a bit like, hey, that's my content. You didn't do A, B, and C. Like I've spoken to people like performance enhancing pancakes. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I've said it to you, Armstory, but I don't even know how you would need it. But I'm like, hey, you want to use my content? That's fine, guys. If you just chuck my name in the description, that's not a problem. That's what performance enhancing cake goes one better. He goes, this was on Aussie Arm Wrestlers YouTube. But I see YouTubers that hate me, because I'll see like screenshots or everything. They're like, this motherfucker can't even give you a shout out or tries to blur your face and everything. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, it is. But, and I want to make it, maybe I should say it here quickly. I wouldn't mind people if they use my content in a transformative way or to do whatever they want with it. As long as they make it their own, I'm totally good with that too. I wouldn't ever want to stand in the way of anything fair use related. Been screwed over too many times myself within the arm wrestling world. I wouldn't do that to someone else.
Yeah, I think I know how performance enhancing pancake gets some copyright strikes off you. Did we ever chat when you were getting copyright striked? Did we ever chat?
We kind of talked about it, I think, behind the scenes. Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, because with channels and everything that I like, I want to be able to help out because back in the day I had a straight line. Because what usually happens is with King of the Table, it's Core Sports messaging one guy, can you copyright strike? And with East versus West, it's Engen and the team telling the Core Sports person to copyright strike. It's all different now, but I'm just saying it was, it was just hard. And I get why a lot were copyright strike, but then some I weren't. I wasn't. Yeah. I weren't. That's not even right. Before I get to you, a question for you, my man, Red Cat Man, and g'day to everyone in the chat. And this is something I want to ask. Hey, everyone, what's up, Aussie? You got me good with the April Fool's Day video. You got me. So for those that don't know, did an April Fool's video that Devin and Engen had split up, made a video and whatnot. And when I released it, maybe I had a look, and it was basically North America that hadn't gone to. They were a few hours away from April Fool's, so I was like, I can't be bothered waiting. This will do it. And oh my God, like the majority of the people, I said, if I fooled you, drop it in the comments. Red Cat Man was one, and Brad Butler was another one. Brad Butler was messaging me personally. A few colourful words, but obviously in good jest. But geez, man, there were some sucky babies. That's for sure. The video went for 70 seconds. Oh, well, I've unsubbed. I'm leaving the channel. I don't be like this. It's like, mate, it was 70 seconds. Have you had anything like that on your channel where people will just come in and complain about your content? Oh, that's not, I leave VJ alone. Oh, no, that's not nice about Cobra, right? Or something like that.
I've had those comments before, yes. Also, I get a lot of the fall. Which fall? What are you talking about? Or like, you're just clickbaiting with your title. And I understand them to a degree. I think they're right. You kind of have to play the game somewhat. But yeah, I get those kinds of comments most of the time. I think of the more negative slanted ones, I get mostly positive comments, as I'm sure you do too, Aussie.
Yeah, I've got a really good fan base, and then YouTube take care of a lot of the negative comments. Like you go to your hidden section because they don't pop up. And
yeah, I never go there. I kind of, as a rule, stay away from there as far as I can.
You are not strong mentally. Stay away from there. I
don't go near.
Yeah, I sometimes make videos about it because you just look dumb making content like that. Bob Anderson wants an Aussie versus ArmWrestler best of 5. I tell you what,
I do it.
I'd put my money on ArmWrestler.
I don't know about that.
I don't train, man.
I outweigh you by quite a bit, so it wouldn't be fair.
And you train?
Yeah, I do. Lately,
yeah. I've trained once in maybe 6 months. I go to the gym and everything, and gym lifts are getting good, but that doesn't accumulate to the arm wrestling table. I'm just choosing my time differently. Full-time commentator, father of 2, and it's like, oh, do you want to go to arm wrestling training tonight? No, I want to choose to put my girls to bed, relax on the couch with my wife. Keep the marriage spicy. That's I had a choice, and that's what I had to do. But
that's the right choice, I think, Aussie.
Now, my man, is there, because you're making killer content, is there like is there a specific goal of what you're wanting to do with your channel? Are you hoping I'm just trying to think, are you hoping to be invited to the big leagues as a competitor? as a content creator? Or are you just like, if I can get more and more views on my rise and falls, etc., then that helps out ArmHistorian, and then I can be a full-time content creator. What's your goal with all of this?
Right now, I think being a full-time content creator is so far away from the point I'm at right now that I can't even start to consider it. You know what I mean? I have to work to earn a living, so I can't put that much time into it. It's just not feasible, especially within arm wrestling. If my channel would ever branch out to other strength sports or something that's related to arm wrestling, where I can make kind of the same kind of videos on other subjects, then I would consider it. But right now, it's just not really in the stars. It's not something I'm actively pursuing. I just want to see how far I can take it. You know what I mean? And keep producing quality content, because I find myself oftentimes wanting to produce content quicker and putting less time into it and finding shortcuts, and my content just kind of suffers when I do that. So
yeah. So then how long would a rise and fall, hang on, I've got your video list up here, so I'm just going to pick one.
Oh, I lost you for a second there.
Oh, you still got me here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All good now.
So the rise, okay, wow, that's 20 minutes long. The rise and fall of Yoshi Kanai.
Sure.
Or the rise and fall of Cobra Rhodes.
Sure, whichever.
How long would that take?
It depends heavily on what I'm doing in my life apart from YouTube at that time. Sometimes work slows down a bit, and then I can afford to put more time into it, so then I can make an episode like that in a week or two, like somewhere between 1 and 2 weeks. But yeah, usually it takes longer episodes like that. I've got multiple videos in the work at the same time.
Any teasers? Can you give a clue and we can try and guess?
I'm working on a multi-part series right now, where the first part is getting relatively close to finished, on a name I should have covered a long time ago already, but I wanted to take my time with like a big name. It's I'm kind of giving it away, kind of. If you look at what's the big name that's still missing from like my really big videos, then there's one obvious one that's missing, and that's the one I'm working on right now.
Ooh, have a guess, everyone. Have a guess. Clearly, ArmHistorian has the best poker face in the world. we wouldn't be able to. We wouldn't be able to have a guess. Have a guess what this next part series is, and we'll see if we can get his hand to. How would a hand smile and give away that that it's going on? But you know what I picture with you, mate. Like, everyone talks about arm wrestling mainstream and whatnot. For some reason, I can picture you in that fold. So just say, I'm just trying, what arm wrestling events this weekend? Uncle John's I Quit match, right? That's on pay-per-view. Red Lightning pay-per-view.
Yep.
I could see, like, I'm in the commentary booth or I'm hosting, and it could be something along the lines of, oh, yep, and we've got some a special guest. We got special comments from ArmHistorian. Army, you there? And it cuts to you like we are now. It's like ArmHistorian, Uncle John, Austin Jaggers, I Quit match. What are your thoughts? And then you're able to go, well, I think Uncle John, blah, 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 blah. I think it can be included somehow, and it'll look different.
If I could pre-record it and actually put some work into it, I would definitely do it. I couldn't see that really going that well, just because I don't think my fluency is necessarily there for people to enjoy the way I talk yet. I don't know. It just seems to me sometimes that my English isn't as fluid as it could be. So yeah. So that might be in the way a little.
Well, I reckon let's trial it for. I'm trying to think for like like Bicep Bash or the next East versus West, I could be doing my live commentary and I'll be like, hey guys, we're lucky. I've got this special prediction for the main event, Michael Todd versus Vitali, and we get it for Armor Story. And then I can play a Armor Story video and you do your thing about the prediction. That could work.
Exactly that. And you could even like kind of write a script kind of beforehand where it's a back and forth between you and I, and it just goes through the clip. You know what I mean? Even when I'm not actually present. But like in live streams and stuff, I would definitely consider just doing it live or practicing and just doing it live. I wouldn't mind doing that, for example.
Yeah.
But there are some options there.
If you ever need help on how to talk and how to talk publicly and commentate or announce or just talk fluently, I talk right out my ass, mate, and would be more than happy to give some tips and tricks. Oh, I like this. Here's another question. Guess how old Historian is? Because Andrew Bell says the kid is 20, surely not. Or unless you're talking about Auden Larratt, where Top Troll King is like, Auden Larratt obviously is for your next part series. Guys, we still have a couple of Auden Larratt signed cards left from Series 1. If you want to buy Thea Rasic, Giannis Amelins, Dave Chafee, Ryan Bowen, Auden Larratt, the Kalina ones aren't great, unfortunately. I brought the wrong texter.
I really love the art of those cards, man. I reviewed the pack you sent me on stream, and I went over like each card separately and in detail with like a close-up. Yeah. It was
can you send me the link?
Yeah, of course, I will. It was really nice. It's been a month now or something or longer ago. Made kind of a segment out of it.
It took me almost a year to send them to you. I just forgot. I was like, yeah, man, I sent you a pack of your cards. Yep, cool. What's your address? You sent me your address. And it was literally about 6 months. And I was just like,
yeah. And then they got stuck in customs for like 3 months more here.
For trading cards.
Yeah, crazy.
But the one that's probably worth the most. Look at that.
Oh, nice. That looks nice. Yeah.
And we've even got that in foil. But we've got Marcio Barbosa's on. I'll tell you, if I can somehow sell the rest of these Series 2 cards, Historian would be in. I'd make an Historian trading card.
I don't know how popular that would be, but yeah.
Oh, mate, you chuck it in a pack. The problem being is the two biggest expenses with the trading cards. If people are like, well, why haven't you chewed out more? Because so many athletes want to come on board. So many athletes. My design guy, he charges me $1,000 flat rate. Doesn't matter how many designs I've got. It's $1,000 out of my own money, and then the cards have got to get sent to me. I've got to check them, and then they've got to be sent back to be packed. That's why Series 2 wasn't packed, because I was like, fuck, that's more money. And then shipping. Like everyone wants it, but then it's like $20 just to ship them somewhere. So
especially from Australia, that's I can imagine.
Yeah, so then it's like
the logistics are a nightmare.
Yeah, I've left some in America, but for people. But yeah, all right. So the kid's surely 20, 53, 44, 49, 33, 22, 28, recently 40. Oh, not our ages. Hey, Atlantis, when did you turn 40? Because I recently turned 40.
Oh, nice. Congrats.
And Annie Beckett saying, g'day. My man from Norway says 30. Oh, that's one thing I got to do. I have to publicly apologize to Historian.
I think I know why.
Bloody hell. Let me paint the picture for you, everyone. I'm here in Australia, and I've been booked to do a wedding. It's at night time. Thought, yeah, beauty, I can do that. So I drive an hour away from my airport to do a wedding. I host a wedding, churn it. It's midnight. I've got to drive 2.5 hours to the airport. 2.5 hours to the airport to fly to King of the Table. I'm cooked. So then I'm on a plane for 13 hours. As soon as I get there, I get driven to the hotel. I've quickly got to have a shower, put my suit on. We do the press conference. And King of the Table were asking YouTubers, including Arm Historian, to send in some questions for the athletes. Unfortunately, with my screenshots, the person that sent it to me wrote Arm Wrestling Historian. Me knowing that's wrong, don't correct it. So I even go, oh, Arm Wrestling Historian. I love that channel. And it's like, that's not your name. That's not your name. That's not your name. So when you're there and it was King of the Table, that wasn't to annoy you or upset you or anything. I remember afterwards when I fucking got his name wrong because you've written it wrong and I was tired and stuffed up. Arm Historian, I apologize publicly for getting your name wrong at King of the Table.
Okay. I never forget, Ozzy. I want you to know that. I hold grudges for a very long time.
He's hold grudges that much that this is the first time I've paid a guest to come on the show. Arm Historian was like, no way. No way. I need a public apology and $500. And I was like, done.
I told you we wouldn't talk about that.
So then, what's who? I don't. Now, don't answer questions. Going to give away anything that who are. But like, what got you into the sport? Who are your favorite? Who are your favorite pullers? You know, give us a bit of a background.
I got into the sport, I think, how long ago now? 4.5 years ago. I didn't start practicing then, but that's kind of when I started getting deep into the sport. I was aware of competitive arm wrestling before, but not to a large degree. I knew of Devin and a couple of other people, but not really gotten into it. And then, yeah, kind of, I think it was a little before the entire kind of Juji Mufu collaborations with Devin and stuff. That's when I actually started practicing arm wrestling and decided to build my own table and together with one friend just in my backyard start practicing arm wrestling. Yeah, it kind of went from there. We've been doing it weekly ever since. So
yeah, right. And have you got any favorites or favorites when you first started and favorites now after you first met some people?
Yeah. I was a big fan of Devin, obviously. I think that's like one of the universal things when people come into arm wrestling. Is like one of the first people they're actually most aware of. So I was quite a fan of Devin. And then as I got deeper into the sport, I started getting more appreciation for, I don't know, personally, I'm really into people who look really unassuming, like regular people you could see walking down the street, but are incredible arm wrestlers. I'm thinking of like the Kidder Gollies of the world, or Mindaugas to a degree, to people like that, or Samusha, like people you would just see walking by on the street, wouldn't think twice about, and are just amazing arm wrestlers. Just goes to show how the technicality of the sport still plays an extremely big role, I think, despite evolving more and more into a strength-focused world, right? It's getting more and more like extreme, the lifts people do and stuff. But I think in arm wrestling, it's one of the places where you can still see like ultimate technical prowess dominate someone that's should be stronger, right?
Yeah, it's it definitely has a unique. It was one of my favorite things about the sport when I started, but now it's almost driving people away. So, like, I remember at the Arnold's here in Australia, the last time we had an Arnold's in 2019, I was watching this 70-kilo guy just manhandle all these bodybuilders, all these power lifters, and I thought, oh my God, how good's that with our sport? Then as I was getting more and more into it and big guys weren't really wanting to pull smaller guys because they're getting beat by a little dude, and it's like driving people away. And I thought, oh, bloody hell. Okay. But yeah, it's
that's an interesting perspective, actually. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, because
I think
like, oh my God, this 70 kilo guy could wreck a big dude, and then the big dude's like, well, that does nothing for me.
Yep. I think ego plays such a big role in our sport. I see it a lot with people who come to practice for the very first time. Oftentimes I don't know, it seems like some people are incapable of taking it easy when it comes to tests of strength, one-on-one tests of strength, and I get it. But in arm wrestling, I think it's important, if you want any kind of longevity in the sport, that you kind of ease into it at the start.
Yeah, it's I was definitely probably the world's worst arm wrestler when I first started. I stood a foot from the table, only moved from the elbow pivot joint, because like I watched Over the Top and then Googled a tournament like 2 a.m. at work and told me, brother, we're going to this tournament in 9 hours. So
awesome. How did that go? Not so good.
Nah, I got fly. I'd take on Brett Coots in my first match. If you don't know who Brett Coots is,
yeah, I do.
Because we were sitting there and I was in the bigger division, and I was like, okay. And you look around, you're like, oh, please don't get the big muscly guy. Please don't get the big muscly guy. Please don't get the big muscly guy. Not knowing that, I don't know how they do it where you live, mate, but we do our tournaments in rankings. So, like, if you're number one, you get the brand new guy. You know, if you're ranked number one, the number one seed, you get the brand new guy. I didn't know that. And I'm like, oh, no, more and more people pulling. And then it's like, all right, Brett Coots, Jake Ward to the table. Brett was awesome. Looked after me.
That's good.
I've still got the video. It was so cool.
That's good that you have the video. That'll come in handy when I make the rise and fall of Aussie Arm Wrestler.
You 100% because it will be a time that I leave, especially with the way sports is picking up here. Hopefully at the end of the year, we'll be on like national TV commentating, and awesome. We'll then hopefully build up stuff. But you will be one of the first people I call when I'm close to the finish line, and I'll be like, good. If you want to make one,
now's the time. Okay, good.
Let's go, and you can say whatever you want. You can say,
I'll go as hard as I can.
You can, mate. You can. Oh, see, because I don't care, because people have gone hard all the way to the tippy top. They go hard. You've been there when it's gone hard, and you see, yeah. I just don't care.
Yep. But that's the way it should be, I think.
And everyone in the chat, yeah, what and when will be the fall of Aussie Arm Wrestler if they haven't fallen already? But get in there, have a guess. But also, guys, we've probably got about another 10 minutes to go. Mate, ArmWrestler and I can talk for hours. We'll probably talk a bit after the show. But get some questions in. Get some questions in for my guy, because he's doing amazing things on his channel. His channel's in my description, but I'm sure if you subscribe to me, you are subscribed to ArmWrestler. And I love when one of your videos come out. I can't catch lives because it's like really early Monday morning, got to get the week started, and then sometimes I'll do a show later on. So I do apologize for that, because you do pop into my lives, and I don't want you to think it's a power thing.
No, I get it. It's like I think your lives are like usually at 1 a.m. for me or something like that. Most of your lives, so it's difficult for me too. But sometimes I'm up that late. Yeah, because
I think I only have one supporter from your country. If I look at my analytics, and it's you.
Yeah, it is.
And the majority are from the United States and the United Kingdom. So I try and.
Yep, makes sense.
So I do apologize.
No. I get it.
So people are saying the rise and fall of John Brasink. John's never fallen.
I won't be making a rise and fall of John Brzenk, but that doesn't mean I can't make something else on John Brzenk.
Oh, that's right, because you did the resurrection of Michael Todd.
Indeed.
So I can see a John Brzenk video coming in. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm just looking at some, and I like your thumbnails.
I appreciate it. I have a lot to learn still, but yeah.
A grouse. Well, I'm terrible at them, and you helped me with a couple of my my videos. But I'm just going through your channel now. Is arm wrestling simulator good or bad? And it's like two jacked up Lego men.
I tried a couple of things that are kind of out there.
Yeah, it's or like from special forces to arm wrestling gods, and you've just changed Devin and Jody's face a little.
It's the Devin video is really kind of crazy to me because I think it got like 20K views within the first couple of months, and then it kind of flatlined. And then I changed the title and thumbnail to what it is now, or something very similar. I think I even went harder. I said something like from Canadian bum to arm wrestling god or something. I said something. Yeah, and then it just skyrocketed to like 200.
Yeah, it's a 247K now.
Yeah, there you go.
That's amazing.
It goes to show how much a thumbnail and a title does.
Yeah, I'm looking at your video here. Arm wrestling movies.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I haven't watched that video, but
sure.
Is it called Golden Arm?
Yeah, the Korean movie.
No, okay. I'm thinking of.
I'm thinking of a wrong one then.
Yeah, no, go, mate. If you get time, maybe you and I can do a watch along. There's a movie called Golden Arm.
Yeah.
Premise is, girl owns a bakery. So deceased father's bakery. Yeah. Big oven shuts down. She needs cash. Best friend comes in, and they let's just go travel. Rah rah rah. And so yeah, she's worked out that she's a killer arm.
Yep. I actually know which movie you're talking about now. I didn't cover that movie in that video. I didn't cover it. I should have, but I just kind of missed it for some reason. That movie passed me by completely. But it's one from 2020. I think it's a recent movie, right? So
yeah,
completely missed that movie, unfortunately.
Joe Nelson, do you want me to ban you? Do you want me to ban you, buddy, with that rubbish? God, idiot. I like this one. Can you do this one? The Ross falling off his hairline. It is shocking.
Get started on it right away, yeah.
Oh my God. How bad is it?
It's not bad, Ozzy.
Oh, I like keeping it because when I first started, it was all about my tongue ring. That I used to have a tongue ring. I miss it. It just fell out during the lockdowns, and I couldn't buy another one to replace it. Otherwise, I'd still have it now, like a loser. That was the talking point, and which inept took all the focus away from my hair. But since the tongue ring's gone, everyone's like, "Oh my God, you have shit hair!" And because a lot of the times when I did my pre-recorded interviews, it was like 2 a.m, 3 a.m. Like, I'm not going to do my hair. That's a lot of the reasons why I wear a hat. I started wearing a hat because I was bald back in the early days. Well, when I say I wasn't bald, I was supporting my wife during a tough time. So I had no hair. And so I just started wearing a hat. And then I was like, oh, this covers up messy hair. Like when it was just out of control. And it just became a talking point. But I love that, Carl Becker, you son of a bitch. And you're supposed to be my compatriot, even though you live in the States. You're supposed to stick up for me.
I'm not quite there yet, but I might be there in a couple of years. Who knows? If my parents are anything, if like my dad's anything to go by, probably I will be.
Yeah.
by the
There's nothing
time
wrong with this.
I hit 40.
Yeah, there you go, Beata. It is right. It is just there with my collection of hats. I usually wear it when I take the dog for a walk. It's a nice, comfy hat from Norway. I do appreciate it. Before we wrap up and everything, have you got a wish list? Is there anything you're wanting to experiment with your channel? You know, I'm just, what's happening. We know about your videos that are coming up very soon, which I'll be one of them to check out. But have you got a wish list of something you would love to achieve in the sport or with your channel?
I'd love to do one of those arm wrestling man on the street videos that like blow up all the time from like fitness influencers. It's kind of there. Like, I think Schoolboy started the trend, right? Arm wrestling random people on the street in New York. I'd love to do one of those videos, but kind of give my own twist to it and kind of present it in a good way, in a way I want to present it. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of a pipe dream. Still far away, I think.
Okay. Nice. And
yeah, I'd love to do one of those.
Are you looking to, when you do your rise and fall videos, are you looking to interview the athletes or have a beer with them and go, hey, what do you think about that, or do a watch along with them? Is that something in your pipeline?
Would be like a watch along after the fact. I would very much be interested in, like if I could watch a rise and fall video with the actual athlete it was on during a live stream or something. I would love to do something like that.
That
like
would be
during
cool.
Yeah, it would be really. But like while I'm making the video, I tend not to talk too much to the athlete I'm making it on, unless I'm like really stuck on some piece of research. Then I do reach out. But I tend to not do that too much because I kind of want to remain separated from that athlete, because I don't know if I can confirm it through multiple sources that a certain thing happened, and then the athlete would say that it didn't happen. Do I assume the athlete's lying, or I don't know. It just brings along a bunch of complications if I would do that. So I tend to stay away from contacting athletes during the process.
And plus, I get heavily influenced. Because a lot of these guys are my friends now. They'll ring me, ask me how my girls are doing. And it's like, hey, buddy, we're out for dinner. We thought we'd call, and what's going on? And, hey, what's happening? Rah, rah. So then, yeah, that's why I'm not, you don't see me making Arm Historian should retire, or Arm Historian videos of dog shit, clickbait type videos, because it's, these people are my friends now. So if I was making a rise and fall and I'd be like, hey, Michael, this, and he'd be like, that did not happen, motherfucker. Well, I'd take it out of the video. I'm like, oh, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like,
or
I have
tell me about
many videos made, but I'm like, I think I went a bit too hard on my mate. I haven't released them.
I get it 100%. Like, you can't go up to someone and say like, okay, and now tell me about all the biggest controversies you've had in the sport. I guess you kind of could, if you would kind of be that guy, right, in the sport, if you could kind of position yourself in a way where you're just the hard-hitting questions guy. But if you really want to get deep into the sport and stay ingratiated with some people in the sport, that's a hard thing to do if you know them personally.
And I want to know, what's your predictions like when you do, like an East versus West is coming up, or a bicep bash, or whatever? What's your rate?
I think I'm I don't always make super precise predictions, so maybe I'm like boosting my stats with that a little. Like, I keep it a little vague, or I say like I prefer this person over this person by a small percentage. But all in all, I think I'm pretty okay, just because of the fact that I know arm wrestling is ultimately super unpredictable, and the favorite going into the match oftentimes isn't really the favorite. So yeah, I think I kind of make some loose guesses that potentially help me get a better win rate, so to speak.
Well, whenever I do my live predictions, you are more than welcome to come on, and
Sure.
we can keep score, and we can challenge each other, and then the loser, say after 5 events, has to do a punishment.
I'd love that, man. Yeah,
I don't know what the punishment will be, but like when I do my, they are a bit later in the evening. So worst case scenario, if there is, say, because like you're saying, it's 1 a.m. your time, you got to work, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But two ways we can do it. One, of course, I'd rather just have the banter with you. Right, Dave Chafee, Georgi Svekov, what do you think? Right, and we write it down and whatnot.
Yep.
Or two, you can just, like, if like there's too many events in a row and you're like, oh, dude, I just can't make this one. Or like when shit went crazy at my house this morning, you can send them in and I can have this picture of you and go, right, here's Arm Wrestling Historian. Because like Uncle John and I were doing that. And then he
Jake,
he needed to get off YouTube.
You did it again, mate. You said Arm Wrestling Historian.
Oh, bloody hell! Bloody hell!
No, I genuinely don't care, man.
I've done it again.
I really don't care.
I think because I was reading this and it said Arm Wrestling Fan. So
yeah, excuses, man. No, but yeah, that sounds like that sounds like a really good idea, actually. Yeah, I'd love to do something like that.
Okay, I'm just writing it down. That's right. You can call me Australian Arm Wrestler if you want.
There you go.
No, it's not a reveal. It's not a reveal. It's not happening. I can't stop watching his arm. That's what I really enjoy about it. It is great. Arm Wrestling Fan, beautiful. Arm Historian.
I love Arm Wrestling Fan.
Is does he jump on your channel? Is this like him?
Arm Wrestling Fan is, I don't know if you know, but Arm Wrestling Fan is like the guy who makes all those crazy arm wrestling illustrations that you see on Instagram and stuff. I don't know if you can kind of tell by his thumbnail there, by his profile picture. He's a great content creator, man. Really, he's awesome. I made some call-ups with him on Instagram. I made some shorts using his illustrations. Really great stuff.
I'm going to his channel now.
I think on Instagram it's Al Omega Rich.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought I was going to his. That's who I was thinking of. But when you said content, I just assumed. Yeah. No, he's unbelievable. Yes.
Yeah, I love him. Love that guy.
Arm Wrestling Fan. I'm an Arm Wrestling fan of your drawings. Still waiting for the Aussie Arm Wrestler picture, but that's okay. I'm not. I'm
made
not
one of me.
No. They're grouse. I absolutely love those drawings. I think they're fantastic.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, great. All right, guys. Well, you now know who my man, the Arm Historian, is. Go to his YouTube channel and watch his videos. And if you are not entertained, then you don't like arm wrestling at all. The guy has made brilliant videos, and we are fortunate enough to get more and more and more. And, of course, the sport of arm wrestling is better because my man, Arm Historian, is in it. And behind the scenes, guys, he's actually a really good dude, which probably makes me enjoy his content more because it's like from a good place. You're not a dick. You're not trying to go for clickbait. I'm very, very looking forward to it. And there you go. Crazy Uncle Jim will sub. We'll get him to 10,000 subscribers. And yes, of course, I'm going to have Arm Historian more and more on the channel if he wants to come back. Have you got any final words?
Jake, I love what you're doing, man. Keep doing what you're doing. I hope we can keep you in the arm wrestling world for a long time, and the arm wrestling world will grow to appreciate you more and more for what you did and what you're doing. And thanks for giving me a platform, man, to talk about what I like to do. I appreciate it.
Anytime, mate. Anytime. You're more than welcome on my show anytime. All right, guys. We will see you soon. Scott Steiner podcast coming out soon. Go subscribe to Arm Historian.